Hello and welcome to another mod showcase. This is going to be a continuation of Project Horror, so if you haven't seen episode 1, I'll pop that in the top corner right now. In this episode, I'm going to be trying out some new enemy types and some enemy edits. What's really cool is some of these were suggested to me by the viewers, so if you know any creepy enemies, edits or horror based mods, please comment with them and maybe they'll appear next time. To start with, I'm going to talk about RogueShots Animal Skeleton Replacer all-in-one. This changes the skeleton or frame and movement styles of many monsters and creatures in the game. It is a shockingly small mod for what it changes at 2.1 megabytes. It really is worth a go. Now I'm using this mostly for the spiders, trolls, vampire lords, werewolves and other horror beasties, but it changes just about every creature in the game. And don't worry, it will not clash with your texture mods at all, because it's only a mesh mod. However, if you happen to be using the creature overhaul, you will not need this mod as that does a very similar thing, but we're talking about a 2.1 megabyte versus about 210, so it really is up to you, but this is a really nice way of kind of cheaply getting that into the game without using up all of your data. Up next is Rotten Maidens by Mihail, the first of 3 of his mods to make it into this episode, at least I'm consistent. Now Rotten Maidens is arguably one of the creepier mods added to my game so far. It adds in a new enemy type in 9 different variants and they respawn. They come with their own animations, behaviours, sounds and effects, but with this one I'm just going to let you check it out for yourself. Be back in a second. I can only apologise so much for that one. For me, it's the sounds and the ambush that make that mod so great. Wait until you come across one without knowledge that it's about to come up at you. It will freak you out. This mod comes in at just under 70 megabytes, but considering how much you get from it, including custom loot, I'd say it's worth the price. In much the same vein, our next mod, also by Mihail, is called Wraiths. A much smaller mod at 21.6 megabytes, but Wraiths are, they're a little less menacing in terms of surprise, but they pack a punch nonetheless. They have custom abilities, where on hit you lose all magicka for 30 seconds. Luckily I'm a warrior, but for mage builds they can be a real nightmare to deal with. Let's check them out quickly.
And I don't think you even know what you found. So go and meet your beloved instead now.
You should have told us. You still might have told us something.
Just a quick side note that all of these work better from a fresh save file or if you wait a few weeks after installation so the AI can catch up. Unfortunately I didn't, which was why it was a little slow on the uptake to fight back. However, when they do, they're a real difficult enemy to come against like most of Mihail's are. Wraiths are sufficiently creepy with their translucent disembodied design. They also have a parry feature which I found extremely interesting as it's something I've always wanted in the game. Wraiths have got multiple variants that will also respawn, however unlike Maidens they tend to be inside dungeons and caves more than roaming the lands of Skyrim. My last mod from Mihail, well, for today at least, is Draugar Cavalry. This adds in horseback Draugar to outside of Nordic ruins and when the space is big enough, inside them too. They're excellently designed with horses that fit the ethos of the Draugar design. They are glaive-wielding riders that can cause some real issues in battle. They move much faster than most enemy types you're used to, and with improved AI detection, they can be a real problem as there is no fleeing from them. What has to be said is that in groups of 2 these things actually sound great, and they usually are in groups of 2, but mine have been affected by the deadly Draugar and appear in greater numbers, which makes the sound quality a bit off, but the battling a bit more difficult, which I always find really good fun. But for those of you who could hear them, they kept saying things like Dover and Dovahkiin, which I thought was really quite cool. Now, these are 21.8 megabytes, which is nothing when you consider they added a new enemy type, battle animations for them, sound, and even a new weapon type, which unfortunately when we wield comes across like a greatsword because we don't have the animations they do. Last up is a mod introduced to me by someone who watched my last video. It's called Arachnophobia. This pairs extremely well with RogueShots skeletons from earlier, and what it does, simply put, is speed up all spiders by 50%. As you can see in these clips, which yes, you may have seen earlier. If you'd really like to bring some stress to your spider-fearing friends, pair this with Arachnophobia 8-legged freaks, which will add 6,000 handplay spiders to the game space, but seriously, have some form of patrol mods on, or everyone will perish to these speedy little demons. I do already have some mods ready for the next episode, however, if you know of anything that would add some real spookiness or some spice and variety to this game that would fit in really well with this horror version I'm trying to build, please don't hesitate to comment with it. And if you've made it this far, I'd really appreciate a like, and remember, this is an ongoing process, so if you don't want to miss anything, give us a subscription. Either way, thanks for watching, I'll see you next time. Bye.